Well, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Game number 2 between Tarson and Grubby. We have Tarson here on the left position, the upper left position as the yellow Terran, and in the upper right we do have Grubby as the green Protoss. What are they saying? I'm so bad today. Good luck, have fun. Tarson, not impressed with his performance in the previous game. I'm going to say a major issue, aside from the way the encounters took place. I mean, obviously, late game Terran, it can be a little frustrating to deal with Sonic Storm and Colossus Fire at the same time. But a big problem, and in all honesty, something Tarson really should have, ideally would have been trying to do, is a little bit more harass. We saw him move out with some medevac dropping and some drop harass, I think just once, really. And besides that, he didn't really do anything. He just pretty much let Grubby build up that death ball, and then come the middle of the game, once that big engagement does occur. It's very difficult with force fields and storms and those Colossus. It's just very difficult to deal with. Clearly, it's not impossible, but that doesn't make it any less difficult. And in all honesty, getting off EMPs against those High Templar, if they're placed properly, can be difficult as well. But either way, I'm not trying to make excuses or a case for Terran late game. All I am saying is that Tarson, unfortunately, just didn't do enough harass last game. Now here we are inside of Grubby's base, nothing quite as of yet. He is at 14 supply actually, and still no gateway, so I'm going to be assuming a quick expansion is what we're going to be seeing here, likely in the vicinity of 15 or 16 supply. Going to be seeing Grubby drop a fast Nexus here at his expo, and then I'll be interested to see what he decides to go with from there. Very likely to get about 2 or 3 gateways just to ensure he can defend himself early on. Also, once he drops this, he is of course going to want to move out with the scout because he needs to figure out precisely what Tarson's doing. If Tarson's going for 3 racks early aggression, which is actually very doable on this map, then Grubby could be in a whole heck of a lot of trouble. Taking a look back inside of Tarson's base, we can see that one barracks is finished right now, coming out with that first Marine, and there's that orbital command coming on through as well. So yeah, we're going to just have to wait and see if he decides to go for some early game aggression. The reason I mentioned that 3 racks can be effective on this map is because just look at these wide ramps. The big thing that stops the 3 racks from being effective on most maps is the fact that you can force field to protect yourself, but that is really not the case here for that initial early game Marine Marauder push. Grubby would have a hard time defending himself if that's in fact what Tarson decided to do. Probe scout moving on through. That is going to get taken care of by that Marine, though, as long as Tarson's paying enough attention, though. Grubby trying to sneak away with the probe. Does he do it? I think he's going to. We do have a Reaper coming on through. Is he going to get a shot just barely out of the range there? I think he could have gotten one shot and another shot there, but very impressive. The fact that Grubby was able to get away with that scout and actually head back home, I'm quite impressed with that. Let's take a look here inside of Tarson vision. Tarson did find that expo, so he is fully aware as to what's going on. That Reaper scout's going to confirm that as well. And looks like Tarson's just going to be responding with an expansion himself. Not going to be playing aggressive, not going to be pushing out early. Just going to go for an expansion. There's the second barracks as well. I'm going to start utilizing that as soon as that is up and finished. Reaper coming on out, and another Marine coming out actually instead of a Marauder. That's different. I almost would have expected a Marauder just to deal with early game Stalker pressure. Although it's going to be a little while till that first Stalker comes on out, so I guess you're not too concerned. Marine engaging with the Zealot, but now that the Reaper's in play, this is a little bit of a cause for concern. Stalker is starting to build, though. This Reaper could do a bit of damage here with some proper micro. Pulling down with some probes. That's actually exactly what he wants to do. This Marine, plus this Reaper, though, has a great opportunity. Going to be forcing those Zealots to push back right now. Grubby's just trying to save his time, bide his time, until that Stalker comes out. Once that Stalker's in play, this push is not going to be nearly as effective. There we go, killing off the one worker right there. How many other kills? No kills for the Reaper right now. That Marine, how many kills did he have? He's just got the one, but Marine's gonna die. Reaper might be able to make it home. He's just trying to get as many kills as possible, but no, see you later. Stalker target firing down the Reaper, and then gonna have no problem with the Marine there, so there you have it. Second Marine, gonna want to walk back on home right now. I do expect the Stalker to kind of start pushing out, at the least to grab this tower just to see. Oh, never mind, he has a tower already, so he knows what's going on. What's that Marine gonna do? Is he just gonna... He's just going to mosey on by the probe. Never mind, there we go. Finally turning around to kill the probe, as I would hope. Is he giving... No, he didn't get it. Holy crap. Well, Tarson, what is your deal? Why did you not kill that? I'm very sad. I'm very sad for you. One bunker being placed right now for some defense as he tries to build up his army. So what we saw him do last game as well. There's that stim pack coming out. Second refinery moving on out as well. Might see a third, possible, but definitely not a fourth. Just because very unnecessary going for that bio build. You do not need 4 refineries this early in the game at all. Back over here for Grubby, let's take a look at that. Expansion is up now and saturated. Those 2 gateways are going to be, no, it's going to be a while. That warp gate research is actually only 50% of the way finished right now. So just going to be churning units out of those one at a time, not being able to use that warp gate quite as of yet. And yes, looks pretty standard right now for this. In terms of these expo builds, no one doing anything too funny, too fancy. There's a couple additional gateways and a third. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are we going to see a 6? Is there going to be a 6-gate push from Grubby? Yes, there is. We are going to be seeing a 6-gate push from Grubby. I would be interested to see if he tries to get a forge as well for some 7 gateways. Oh, man. Grubby is going to go for a very, very, very aggressive gateway push. Once that warp gate research comes in, those gateways finish, and that gets turned out, I expect maybe 1 or 2 will warp into units, and then probably going to see a push at that point. The fact that Grubby is not taking up leads me to believe that he's just going to go for a quick victory here. That's the most probable, the most likely thing. Given the fact that he is up 1 game already, doing something a little bit more risky like this, but that has the opportunity to take someone out very early, it's not the worst of things. It can definitely work. A 7-gate push is obviously very, very strong, so we're going to have to wait and see how effective that is. We can see right now Tarson working his way to tech up only on the 3 barracks, and actually no production right now. A little lapse there in his macro. There's a period of time, and actually supply blocked as well. This is a problem. We have got a 7-gate push running its way across the board. Right now, Tarson is supply blocked. He is coming out with nothing. Forced to build that deep right now. Is he going to call down a mule? I think he must have. I don't know. But this is no, he didn't, because this isn't building. This is actually just building a reactor. Wow. That is not good at all. Tarson getting supply blocked. Pretty much the absolute worst thing that could have happened, because he is seeing a 7-gate push right now. You can see there is no transition at all prepared for Grubby. Grubby is just pushing out with this massive army, and this is going to be a problem for Tarson. He is almost halved, or maybe about a third, but still, this is a big problem. Forced to pull down with the SCVs. Zealots moving on forward. The Stalker is going to be trying to target fire down those bunkers as well, and Tarson finally breaking that supply block, but only because he lost a crap ton of units, and that is incredibly unfortunate. It looks like Grubby is actually going to do tremendous amounts of damage right here. I don't know if he's going to end up winning the game at this moment, but he's doing so much damage. It is unbelievable. Doing some micro, trying to stay away from those SCVs. Here comes some reinforcement zealots, and those are going to start tearing through the buildings over here. The SCVs, keep in mind, they're not mining this entire time to try to deal with this Stalker threat. We do still have the mining going on here, but this Expo down here is not mining at all. It looks like that Stalker threat finally pushed off. But wow, oh wow, Grubby has been churning out these resources nonstop. He's been mining without any hindrance, so he's able to quickly reinforce. And look at this giant force from Grubby rolling on in, 14 as opposed to the 24 supply. Definitely in a strong position. Now these Zealots are on the board. They're going to be able to take care of those NESCVs that pull down to try to engage with those Stalkers. The Zealots are such meat shields against those. You can see them just tearing right through. Here comes some more reinforcements. 1 Zealot, a few more Stalkers as well. And this is unreal. Grubby, the 7-gate push, was way too much for Tarson to handle. Tarson sitting on a supply block. Lapse in production time as well. Those 2 things combined pretty much ensured a victory. Even with that, though, even if he hadn't got supply blocked and he had kept up production, I think he still would have been definitely in a lot of trouble, because the 7-gate push is so strong. And he was also trying to tech up, and that's kind of the point. That's a concern. You can see right now Tarson doing what he can, but it doesn't really matter. Again, keep in mind, we've seen no economic damage at all over here for Grubby, and so he can just keep streaming in these units, and there finally is the GG. Grubby opened up this game with a very, very fast expansion. In fact, he ended up dropping his Expo at 15 supply. Now, Tarson, with his SCV Scout, did manage to spot this, and he actually responded by dropping a Expo himself and trying to move out with some Reaper harass. Well aware of that fast Expo, we did see Tarson try to move out with some Reaper and Marine harass. Unfortunately, though, Grubby, with some great micro, was actually able to fend it off without taking many losses at all. Those Zealots are so threatening, they forced the Marine and the Reaper to actually move back, and he just kept kind of dancing around until that Stalker came into play. And then once that Stalker was on the board, he had no problem whatsoever fending off this Reaper and Marine. With that fast Expo up and successfully defended against that early small pressure, we saw Grubby working into a 7-gate. We can see right here 2 gateways up, and then we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gateways total. This, of course, is going to make for some very, very early game pressure. The big concern, though, was whether or not Tarson had enough to defend against this, because if he did, then Tarson would have been in a stronger position. So we can see Tarson here with some bunkers, some Marines and Mirage to the front of his base. As you can see, Grubby setting up shop, getting ready to push in, but unfortunately for Tarson, Supply block, supply block, supply block. A very big problem. That, on top of the fact that he was also trying to tech up, put him in a drastically worse position than Grubby in terms of early game army. Because of that supply block, plus the fact that he was working his way up to a starport, Grubby was just able to roll over what Tarson had. Tarson did not have enough units, he did not have enough defense early game, and the 7-gate just completely demolished everything that he had. So there you go, guys. Grubby does end up taking the series 2-0 from Tarson. A very unfortunate game for Tarson, I would have to say. I would have really liked to see him defend that 7-gate because, again, if he had been able to defend that since he was going up for tech, he would have been in a much better position. But unfortunately, it didn't work that way, and it just goes to show you how bad a supply block can really screw you over, especially in these high-level games. So as always, guys, if you like the content, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel and keep watching and keep owning.